Ever been in a room full of screaming fans and felt absolutely nothing? The TV's blaring, everyone's on their feet, tension crackling through the air, and you're just there. Not bored, exactly. You understand what's happening. You know the score. But emotionally, the signal doesn't land. It's like hearing a language you recognize but don't speak fluently. Here's the uncomfortable truth. In that moment, you wonder if something's wrong with you. Why does everyone else seem electrified while you feel untouched? But what if this isn't apathy? What if it's awareness? The ancient wiring we all share. To understand sports obsession, you need to travel back to prehistoric times. For millennia, survival meant tribal belonging. Your group was your protection, your food source, your chance at passing on your genes. The human brain evolved to treat social acceptance as a life-or-death matter. Modern sports hijack this ancient circuitry brilliantly. They create a clean, emotionally charged version of us versus them. Your city against theirs, your colors against the enemy. And here's the wild part. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between symbolic victory and real victory. When your team wins, your brain releases dopamine and testosterone, the same chemicals our ancestors experienced after successful hunts. Studies show fans experience measurable hormonal shifts after games. Researchers even found higher testosterone levels in men whose presidential candidate won an election. The context changes. The mechanism doesn't. When the tribal switch doesn't flip. Here's where people get it wrong. When sports don't ignite something in you, it's not because your tribal instinct is broken. It's because your threshold for belonging is different. For some people, geography is enough. The city you were born in, the team your parents supported. For others, loyalty needs to be earned through shared values, shared effort, or shared creation. From this perspective, sports, fandom can feel strangely arbitrary. The team you're supposed to defend was determined by where your family happened to live. Players change constantly. Franchises relocate overnight for profit. Yet, fans offer unwavering emotional devotion. Some minds quietly ask, what exactly am I being asked to attach to here? When the answer doesn't feel reciprocal or stable, the signal fades, not from cynicism, but from clarity. The nervous system you built in childhood. This difference often forms long before anyone asks, who's your team? Our nervous systems are shaped early by what feels safe and meaningful. In some families, sports are bonding rituals. Weekends revolve around games. Emotions are shared openly. For children in those settings, sports become associated with connection and safety. But that isn't every childhood. Some people grew up where loud noises meant tension, not celebration. Where crowded rooms felt overwhelming, not energizing. Their nervous systems learned that high stimulation wasn't fun. It was something to manage. Others formed identity around internal worlds rather than external displays. Meaning came through conversation, creativity, or quiet presence. Over time, their brains associated safety with focus and depth, not collective intensity. This isn't avoidance, it's adaptation. The preference for creation over consumption is often the quiet imprint of a nervous system that learned what it needed to feel stable. The real reason: your attention is already invested. Being a serious fan isn't passive. It requires maintaining a mental archive. Rosters, histories, strategies, statistics, rivalries spanning years. Your brain has limited cognitive real estate for deep investment. For many people, that archive is already full. Some minds allocate attention to understanding how markets move, how music is structured, how systems work. Others invest in mastery, building a craft, developing capabilities, pursuing long games that don't reset every season. From this angle, disinterest in sports isn't a failure to engage. It's a prior commitment. There's an unconscious calculation, time memorizing stats versus time developing skills. Emotional energy tied to outcomes you can't influence versus energy invested where effort compounds. People who don't follow sports haven't opted out of focus. They've concentrated it elsewhere. The stadium isn't empty. It's simply hosting something else. The mirror neuron difference inside your brain are mirror neurons that activate when you watch others perform actions. This is why you flinch when someone falls, why your muscles tense watching an athlete sprint. Neurologically, you're not just observing, you're simulating. But mirror neurons require identification. You need a psychological bridge. That could be me, or that represents me. Without it, the emotional payoff never fully arrives. For people who don't obsess over sports, this system works perfectly. It just attaches elsewhere. Their mirror neurons light up watching a musician execute a difficult passage, a craftsperson transform raw material, or a thinker articulate ideas with clarity. The difference isn't emotional capacity, it's chosen heroes. The weight you've been carrying. Beneath the polite nodding is often a quiet shame. You soften your answer when asked about the game. Over time, you feel misaligned with the room, and your brain searches for the problem. Why don't I feel this? But shame thrives on misattribution. What's actually happening isn't emotional deficiency, it's a mismatch. Your nervous system isn't broken. Your attention isn't cold. They're just not designed to light up on command for collective spectacle. You're not failing to participate. You're participating differently. And there's nothing defective about refusing to fake enthusiasm for belonging. The truth about absorption. People who don't follow sports haven't rejected escape or community. They find absorption through different doors. In workshops where hours pass unnoticed, in creation, problem-solving, or refinement. While watching a game absorbs attention outward into someone else's performance, other forms pull attention inward into something you're building. Neither path is superior. They regulate different nervous systems in different ways. What matters is the effect, that sense of presence, that feeling you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Attention is the most valuable resource you have. Where you point it shapes who you become. Some people point it toward watching championships unfold. Others point it toward creating something that didn't exist before. That difference doesn't make one path better. But it does explain why the signal never landed, and why it never needed to.